At Direct Service Garage Doors, we are your one-stop shop for all things garage door. From garage door repair and broken spring replacement to new garage doors and openers, we do it all. We're proud to be among the highest-rated local garage door companies in all of Northwest Arkansas. Our highly trained technicians are available 24 hours a day at no extra cost to you. So if you have an emergency, call us today, 479-203-5880, or visit our website at directservicenwa.com. Don't wait days. We'll fix it now.
Oh, all right. There we go. All right. Let's do this. I'm not even going to give it a yo. I'm not even going to give it a yo. We're just going to get right into it. That was very disappointing. I at this point, you know, at halftime, you just kind of felt it, right? It just that one stung, but it stung for a different set of reasons, right? It didn't sting because it was a good game. and you lost close. Stung because you got your ass completely beat. Arkansas got curb stomped, and there's just no two ways about it. Razorbacks got completely curb stomped tonight. Yeah. All right. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. If you're new here, I know this one's tough. I know that this one's, this isn't exactly what we had in mind, especially after beating a 1 seed the way they did in Kansas. I listen, I'm not going to say I laid out 2 options here. I said, this is what's going to happen. Either Razorbacks by close or Uconn by a lot. And in order for Arkansas to get in close, everything that they did in the first half, it needed to be the opposite, right? And it just wasn't. It just wasn't. Someone hopped in and they hopped out on the call-in line there. The link, it is posted in chat. I'll post it in Discord for anybody who missed it. Again, just really disappointing. Let me get this out there. All-in link. There you go. For anybody in Discord, if you want to hop in here, there you go. The link is provided for you in live chat as well. Again, make sure you like, share, subscribe. Yeah. So first, before we've got someone on the line. It is Rhett, aka Dragon Slayer. Yeah, I see you laughing down there. Yeah, I see you. I see you, sir. Hang on just a second. We'll get to you in just a moment. Shout out to this show's sponsors, of course, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. They work basically anywhere, most places except Star City, Austin. But they will come out and help you out, right? They offer same-day services, free estimates, quality parts, and affordable outcomes. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667. Again, that's Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. And, of course, the Apex Tattoo Studio, 479-278-2694. Tap-out sessions are available. 10% off if you mention Tusk Talk with Ty. They're located at 201 South 19th Street. Sweet Pea in Rogers, Arkansas. Again, walk-ins are welcome. We have some samples of what they've done at Apex in our Discord. So if you want to go check those out, maybe you're curious about getting some ink, there you go. All right. I'll give you guys my take here in just a minute. Let's get Rhett. All right, Rhett. So far, Rhett, and this is a first-time caller, by the way. Amazing that this group made a Sweet 16 run. Appreciate what you do, Ty. Hopefully we'll beat corn dogs in baseball. God, it could be an ugly weekend. All right, let me boom, there we go.
Yeah, there we go.
What's going on, Rhett?
Oh, not much, I not really disappointed, but I think we could have done better.
Oh, well, sure. Yeah, I mean,
surprised we made it to the Sweet 16 in general.
Yeah.
But we would benefit a lot from freshmen coming back.
Okay. Who do you want to come back the most? Of the likely freshmen, who would you want to come back the most? The likely ones, the ones that are likely. Nick Smith is off the table. Anthony Black is off the table. Council's not coming back. He's not a freshman, but
really?
So of the available freshmen, oh, did we lose him? Oh, there you are. Of the available realistic options to come back, who do you want back?
Black and Walsh.
Black's not realistic, though. I just said he's.
Really? Why? Not what? Why?
I mean, he's not because he's still considered an NBA lottery pick.
I mean,
now he could say what?
I said, I guess Walsh then.
Okay, Walsh.
Yeah.
All right, fair.
I mean, Pinion's gonna come back. He hasn't had much minutes past January.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah, it's probably been since January since he got significant minutes. Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty much all I got. Just move on to next season. Don't take it to heart that we lost.
Lost ugly. It was
ugly. I'll admit it was ugly, but
hey, kudos to you though. You weren't like super duper trolly negative in Discord. So kudos to you, sir.
Hey, I'm not a doom and gloomer. I'm just kind of realistic,
Oh, that's what they all say, though.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you calling in.
No problem, man.
See ya. Oh, there we go. Got to get that right. Yeah, I don't think Black is realistic. I just don't think he's coming back. Whoa, what happened to my live chat? I don't know what I just did, but now I can't. Oh, there we go. Wow, that was freaky. I'm using StreamYard. It's acting a little funny. Depending on who Musk grabs in the portal determines who Musk loses. Yeah, the transfer portal is going to be fascinating to watch. Like I said on Twitter, there's a reason why they offered so many players out of the portal, and you kind of saw it tonight. The scoring droughts were just all too familiar this year, these 4 and 5 and 6 minute droughts. What's funny is last year you had those, but then you had those 12-2, 14-4 runs, right? Scoring wise, you had those 12-0 scoring runs. Spurt ability was something we talked about a lot last year, and didn't have that at all this year. They were a high scoring team, but why? Because they played above the rim, they played well at the post. In the paint down low, they could get some easy buckets. They were mostly not a good free throw shooting team. They were not a good outside scoring team. If you force Arkansas to sit back and try to shoot from outside or 15 feet beyond, 12 feet beyond, sometimes they weren't going to score. They didn't have that bailout option this year either. They didn't have that JD Note, right? They didn't have that the guy that you just felt like could take things over consistently for Arkansas. There's Pops. There he is. Needs shooters and a few big men who play physical. I don't think that's wrong. I would agree with that. I mean, they need shooters. We know they've got 2 freshmen committed right now, and I don't think you'll ever see them sign as many true freshmen as they did this year. I'll say that right out the gate. You're not going to see them do that. Again, the link is provided for you guys in chat, in Discord, if you want to join. If you want to join in on the call. Rhett was brave enough to do so, and honestly, not a bad. I mean, I was kind of expecting not a meltdown from Rhett, but like some more, maybe some swearing a little bit. We didn't get it. So John Haas, who says I ain't mad. Uconn played the most impressive, efficient ball I've seen in a long time. This was not officiating. Okay, this was not. I mean. To 90% of you understand that this was not officiating. This was not anything that, it wasn't. It was just certain things outside of Arkansas's control. Uconn just didn't miss, and it was too easy down the paint. I don't know what was going on with the Mitchells tonight. I don't know what was going on with them down in the post. I don't know what was wrong with them down in the paint. It was really brutal to watch. It was too easy. The announcers, I didn't listen to Chuck. I listened to the announcers on this one, the broadcast on television, and they were right. It was just too easy in Arkansas if they wanted. And they were talking about a comeback when Arkansas was down 14 points. They said if Arkansas wants to start that comeback, they can't give up these easy points down low. And I think they were outscored at one point in the paint, plus 16 or something, or minus whatever you want to look at it. They're outscored a bunch in the paint, and there was no contest. And then they started draining everything. The perimeter defense was awful. That was as bad. That was some of the worst. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it had something to do with Devo catching those 2 early fouls. I don't know. It seemed like every time I looked up, there's a wide open look for Uconn. Arkansas did not play like themselves tonight at all. And you do have to give Uconn credit. All right, we got TJ Souter, who's on the line here. Hang on, let me this is the only no, he dropped. He must have connectivity issues. Again, link is provided for you guys. If anybody else wants to hop in, I really thought some of you would have plenty to say, and right now nobody's calling in. We've had 3 technically. 2 of them keep hopping in and hopping out. One of them was brave enough to do so. Link is provided for you guys. Uconn got them wide open looks by creating space. Well, sure, right. But we've seen Arkansas defend that pretty well. Those outside perimeter screens, they switch usually pretty well if they're going to drive, if they're going to come off the drive or come off the screen and drive. Arkansas's done a really good job of either clogging up lanes or getting in the face of the perimeter shooter, the guy that's trying to shoot that outside 3. Right, wherever it is on the floor, right? And they just couldn't tonight. They looked, I don't know, man. I kind of thought they looked pretty lost on defense most of the time. All right, I don't know what we're in for here. We got Gordon. Gordon is coming up here. I think this is the first time caller. Oh, see, there we go. What's going on, Gordon?
Oh, hey, man.
Hey.
Yeah, it's just that game is just too many points in the paint and stuff, and leaving people, wide open, and I mean, it's a team effort, and I understand, you gotta, Devo Davis, he can't do it all, and some of these freshmen, I mean, they have to come back to get some more experience.
Yeah, I agree. Gordon, where are you calling from?
I'm from Cabot, Arkansas.
From Cabot?
Yes, sir.
I've been through Cabot. It's been a while, but I've been through there.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, man. Well, so Devo can't do it all. You're not wrong. It was tonight. It was Anthony Black and Ricky Council. Black with 20, Council with 17. Devo had just 3 points tonight.
Yeah, that's not enough.
Yeah, I agree.
And he was getting into foul trouble, constantly. He had 2 quick ones.
Yeah, I agree. All right, man. I've got someone else on deck. Thank you for your call in. I appreciate that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks, Gordon. Montario Knight. What's going on, man?
Yeah. Oh man. That was a rough one to watch.
Here we go. Give me something. Give me some juicy content. Give me something controversial. I can't. You're in the dark apparently.
No, well, I'm in my truck. I'm on my way back to Little Rock. So
Are you a truck driver? Are you a truck driver?
Yes, sir.
What did I say? I said this in Discord. Last night in our live. I have so many truck drivers, which is awesome. I appreciate you guys. My grandfather was a truck driver for a really long time. So it's cool that you guys listen in, man. I appreciate you. What do you got for me?
All right. For starters, it started off great. We I thought Nick Smith was going to be on fire. He came in lighting it up right off the bat. Couple shots. Looked like we was going to be trading points for a little bit. But then, man, they just fell apart. It seemed like it was all out of sync. Everybody looked confused. It just wasn't happening. I mean, they was shooting lights out. Well, Uconn was. Them suckers shooting half court. It didn't matter where they was hitting from. Shit. It just was shit. We looked like a high school team playing pros. It was bad.
It was pretty bad. Listen, Uconn number 1 seeded way too low. Seeded entirely too low. That's a 2 seed at minimum. I mean, of course, they're not going to be a 1 seed because of the month of January that they had. Had they not fallen apart for whatever reason, I think they got a little dinged up along the way. They got lost. They went undefeated in non-conference play, and you look at their non-conference schedule. Like, yeah, these dudes were good enough at one point to probably be a 1 seed and maybe one of the better 1 seeds. They were, I mean, at the end of the day, they really should have been like a 2, minimum 3, right? They should have been a 2 seed all day long, and Arkansas ran into a buzzsaw. Someone hit the nail on the head on Twitter. I think it was War Machine, actually. They just ran into a buzzsaw.
We wasn't ready for that one. We thought that, I mean, looking at that when we played Kansas, that was what we was expecting. Boy, we got something different tonight. I was not impressed.
No. What's your move? Are you going after? I mean, we know what Muss is trying to do. We know what he's trying to do. Like I said, he's hitting the portal up. He's trying to grab whoever. But is that the right? Shooters. What's that?
It's the right move. I said, yeah, we need shooters. We got shooters, but we had our premier players that's going to be one and done. That's to make the university look good so we can keep getting them. But at the same time, shit, we need experience because you run around with a lot of high school kids, you know what I'm saying, that really ain't matured. Yeah, you get sloppy games all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I agree.
I mean, I'm not disappointed in where we made it to.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They need a shooter. I kind of wonder if they don't go after an older, more experienced point guard, someone who a little bit better outside presence. They didn't have a point guard this year with great outside presence. I mean, Devo would line up at the one. He would play the one. He'd bring the ball across half court. He could play the point guard. He was usually, not always, the best ball handler on the floor. Not always. He developed the outside shot this year. He could play the point in Muss's system this year most of the time. But I think if they don't, I mean, Devo, I fully expect to come back. But I kind of wonder if, I think they need a pure shooter, and I wonder if that pure shooter isn't just a two or a combo or just another wing. It might be an older, more experienced point guard, someone who doesn't drive the lane and turn the ball over as often as Anthony Black and Devo did this year. Now, Devo toned it down, certainly did tone it down, but
Black, all of them could not hold the ball, not a single carrier. Nick, Black, Devo, and then that sloppy passing. I mean, it's just the way it was. I mean, you could just see it. Oh, man, that lazy pass, look, that was going the other way. You know, a fast break, easy points. Yeah. So, I mean, that was what we had to look at for most of the season. Yeah. And it did not disappoint us tonight. Yeah. Not as bad, though. They didn't have 17, 18 of them, but still.
Yeah. And I think, too, and it's all on Anthony Black or Devo. I mean, clearly Devo is, you could argue he's the reason why you made it into March or made any kind of a run. You can absolutely say that. But, boy, they really asked Anthony Black at times to carry the load. And for a true freshman playing the point, that's not easy. Montero, I appreciate your call, man. Thank you so much.
Yes,
be careful out there, sir.
Oh, man, I am almost in. I am coming through Palestine on I-40.
Well, there you go.
Hey, the show and the game carried me on in.
Well, I'm glad, man. I'm glad. We had a truck driver last night in our Discord say that very thing. Like, these lives, they help him on the road, and that's awesome.
Oh yeah, hey, I appreciate it. Hey, still woo pig suey.
There you go, brother. There you go. All right, Montero. Be good, man. Yeah. We got. You're next up, Haas. There we go. So I don't have to. What's going on, Haas? What do you got for me? I got like 3 people on the line, so we're gonna try and keep this quick, okay?
All right, yeah. So I can keep it quick. I'm not gonna talk too much shit. I ain't gonna drop no F-bombs on you. The way this year went, if you look at our last 5 regular season games, to say that we would play in the Sweet 16 game, if you had told me that, I'd have called you a damn liar.
Yeah. 100%.
I didn't have us winning nothing.
100%.
This team, 3 straight Sweet 16s, dog. Who gives a shit if we lost this one? Bounce back, get the next one. You know, I told the kid I'd buy her a snake for her birthday. So,
what about snakes? What'd you do?
We good?
You're cutting out like crazy.
I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah.
I gotta go get my kid this snake, so I'm gonna jump off of here and let somebody else.
All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate your call, Haas.
Always.
See you, man.
Yep.
All right. Next up, Dex. Oof. See, he beat me to it. I was trying to click really quick. Is that Dex? What's going on, Dex? What do you got for me, man?
I'm in here. You hear me?
I can hear you. Tell me, are you a truck driver too? Are you another truck driver?
No.
All right.
I'm a regular Arkansan. Nah.
Nothing wrong with that, baby. What do you got for me?
I just wanted to speak on. First, let me be positive. You know, okay. I enjoy watching the Razorbacks brings me a lot of joy, but at the same time, like what the other truck driver guy spoke on, I think we lack a lot of maturity. So, yeah, like I just think we lack maturity. And at some point in some point in the game, like I know our game plan is to like drive to the basket, get lays, fouls, free throws or whatever. But at some point I feel like, are we trying to drive to the basket, or are we just scared of the three? So like that kind of like frustrated me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was cool to watch though. I mean,
right.
But I do feel like Anthony Black has to mature a lot because I feel like he passes up on a lot of opportunities. What's the R guy? The I can't think of his name.
R guy? Ricky
not Ricky Council. I can't think of his name right now. I don't know why. The one that's real close with Anthony Black. I can't think of his name.
Oh well, I mean Nick Smith.
Not Nick Smith. I also like
Jordan Walsh.
Jordan Walsh. I don't know why I said R.
Right.
I think he like.
Yeah, he threw me off a little bit there.
Yeah, my fault.
You're good. Let me ask you this before I let you go here. They've offered a lot of people in the portal. Is this the right route to go, or do they need to go after continue to build up those high 4 and 5 stars, out of high school? They need to go after some more freshmen that can. I mean, I feel like this is a pretty obvious answer.
Honestly, I don't feel. I feel like we should stick with what we got. I don't like. Okay, so now I can be real. Like I don't see Anthony Black going straight to the league and really doing anything. I feel like he should stay, develop, like because he has so much potential. He's lanky.
Yeah.
He has a shot. He just don't take it a lot. He kind of drive. Like I wish he had a little bit more, decisiveness with his, drives. Probably, but I mean, aside from that,
yeah,
my biggest issue is just I feel like we should take the 3 more. I think that's the biggest thing that I really wanted to get at for real. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think they worked with what they had. I don't think they had anyone that was reliable outside until Devo came along in league play, right? I mean, we saw Devo.
Okay.
God bless that young man. I'm in the Devo fan club. He took Arkansas, put him on his back. I think they worked with what they had. I don't think they have any shooters. Okay. You said Anthony has an outside shot. I wish we'd seen more of it. And I do agree. He passed up on some looks. He did. We saw that time and time again. We've seen him.
Jordan Walsh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish Nick. And but okay. Quick, short, and simple. Okay. Nick Smith has to be the center point of that team. I don't know what happened down low. That's another thing I just thought about. But Nick Smith has to be the focal point. He has to be our JD Note. He's the only one with the real just knack for scoring. So
well, because he can do it from all 3 levels at a really at a really high level. I mean, that's
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I was kind of hoping that's what we'd get out of him. I kind of thought when he came back, if it wasn't rushed,
he'll be back though.
What's that?
I hope. Do you think? Oh, that's another good question. I love the show, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Do you think Nick Smith goes to the league right away?
Oh yeah,
or does
100% to the league, what? To the NBA? Yeah,
yeah.
He's a lottery pick.
He's similar to Moses to me. I don't feel like Moses should have left as fast. I feel like he should have stayed and developed. So you don't. But the question being, do you don't believe he should stay and develop, or even try to attempt to go back to the, Elite 8,
right?
Win the actual ship,
right, right. So
for Arkansas,
should they all come back? Absolutely, they should all come back. Okay. Yes, but realistically, I'm not against these kids going and getting some paper. Now, the question is, if some of these guys came back, could they make more paper? Could they make more money? Sure. But that opportunity is on the table. We saw Nick Smith deal with injuries. What if he re-injures that knee, right? I mean, I know what he said to Bob Holt. I know people are kind of on that, like, oh, Nick Smith said this. Like, how do you know what's going to happen? I mean, come on, bro. We know what's going to happen. I mean, I think he'd be crazy to pass it up. Should he come back and develop? Yes, he should. And I, good Lord, I couldn't imagine this team next year if they had every one of these parts coming back with a healthy Trevon Brazile. I don't know. I'll give you one last quick thought, man. What do you get? One last quick thought. I got two other people on the line here.
I think that was pretty much it. I ain't thought about nothing really off the top of my head aside from like I love the heart Kamani Johnson plays with. I feel like he, I hate that this is his last, season. I would love to see him, somewhere else. He has a lot of heart. The Mitchell twins, I enjoy watching them play. Yeah. They just Brody down on whatever his name was. She Way 2.0. Cub was going stupid. Like he just did his thing. Like I mean, he's still solid down there.
They couldn't match up with them anywhere. They couldn't match up with them anywhere on the floor. And it's crazy because that's the first time all year where I looked at the two teams on the floor and I thought, God, Arkansas looks small. Like
and they was pulling that John too, cuz like they was pulling that John, like they was dropping them. They was hitting their shots. They were hitting their shots.
Well, Dex, I appreciate your call, man. Please, next time we do these, call in again. All right.
Got you. All right,
man. Take it easy.
Woo
man.
pig.
There you go. It's still Woo Pig. Win or lose, baby. It's still Woo Pig. All right, Dex, take it easy, man.
All right, man.
All right, there we go. We've got Steven on the line. Steven, are you in our Discord?
What's up, Ty? Yeah, I am in the Discord. I don't go in very often. I don't do social media a lot.
Okay, because we've got like two Stevens in there, and I wasn't sure if maybe you were one of them. So you are.
Right. Yeah, 1383. That's me.
Okay, yeah. What's going on, man? Right. What do you got for me?
Not much. Hey, man, first of all, love the show. Listened a long time.
Appreciate it.
Man, I think really tonight just highlighted the deficiencies that we've been seeing most of the year with the injuries, with the chemistry problem. Nick not really having enough games to come back and really enough minutes to gel with the team again. I mean, Uconn just had every piece to highlight all of our deficiencies. So, that's something we really can't. We can't outplay that. Like our limitations are limitations, and I think the first two games we definitely played above that, especially against Kansas. Man, we played way above our deficiencies. But tonight, yeah, man, we just ran into what looked like the best team in the country.
Buzzsaw.
Exactly, buzzsaw. But really, man, I think that we've got to be proud of this. And as far as what we're going to do next year, portal versus developing guys, I mean, obviously developing guys is always going to be the answer. You got to bring guys in, older guys that are going to be able to help you. But of course, you're going to do better with second, third, and fourth year guys. But I think we just got to trust in Muss, man. I mean, this is the third year. Muss has outperformed what we've thought he's going to do. Barring injuries, who knows where we would have been this year. So, man, I think he's got the answers.
That's like that's the motto for 2022, 2023 is, what if? Like, what's crazy is they still managed to get to the Sweet 16, all things considered, like you pointed out.
Right.
They still managed to find a way and get here. They ran into it like we said, like they've said in chat, like they said, like War Machine said on Twitter. They ran into a buzzsaw.
Yeah. I mean, UConn beats anybody. If they play like that.
Plays like this tonight, the rest of this tournament, they're not losing a game.
No. I mean, nobody's going to even come close. No. And as far as Nick coming back, look, man, of course Nick would benefit from coming back. But, dude, those dollars, man, there's so many dollars. He's got millions of reasons that he's not coming back. So
there's a lot of people saying that he should turn it down, or the same people who I bet if they were 19, they had those kind of opportunities. Come on, bro. It's not even close. Like,
who's going to turn down a lottery ticket, man?
No, man. And he's not. Listen, I've been on the he's not dropping out of the lottery train for weeks, maybe months.
Right.
I still don't think he is. I know that, scouts, front offices, GMs are going to know and understand what he was dealing with. They're going to know and understand, my God, he was square peg, round hole. He never fit. They're going to know this. The draft is about potential. The NBA draft is about potential.
100%. and his potential is off the charts.
It is. It really
It's pretty
is.
undeniable.
Yeah, I agree.
So, man, that's it. What's up from Montana? Loving it up
Montana,
here.
what's going on?
So, yeah, man, appreciate the content. You definitely keep me up to date with everything. So I appreciate it, brother.
I appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot for listening.
Yes, sir. Take it easy.
You too.
Bye.
All right. Grayson's up next. What's going on, Grayson? I know that was quick, man. I didn't give you a chance. What's going on,
You're all
man?
good, buddy. Hey, shout out. Been watching a while. Love the content. So just two quick things I was going to pull up. Number one, man, about halfway through that first half, it reminded me of that Baylor game 2 years ago. Hitting everything falling their way. You know, any loose ball, we weren't getting it. They were getting all the rebounds, making all the tough shots. You know, sometimes you hate to say it, but sometimes games simply go that way. And then the second point, you know, you've hit on it a little bit with, you know, the transfer portal this offseason. I really think Musk can kill it. Man, 3 straight Sweet 16s. I think he can go get some, you know, veterans in that portal. I think we'll be back next year, no doubt.
Yeah, it's to me, I wonder if he's not more motivated than ever.
I heard that.
This was embarrassing. There's no other way to put it. I mean, it was, and he doesn't want to be embarrassed like that again. It kind of, in some ways, even though someone didn't say this to him, as far as I'm aware of, it's like when Nolan Richardson was told, "Go get you some men." It has that kind of feeling to it a little bit, like, and it's not to say they didn't have men, but they're missing pieces.
Yeah,
and they did not play this first half. They didn't look enthused to me. They didn't look like
you're right.
They didn't look like they wanted to be there, if I'm being honest. Now, in the second half, clearly they had a fire lit under their rears, but or played better, I should say, and definitely had that want to and didn't give up. It's things that we've seen under Musselman since year one, where these guys don't get completely let go of the rope, right? But most of this game, they just, I don't know, man.
It was tough to watch, but I mean, we'll put all our chips in with Muss, and I think, you know, he ain't going to let us down. We'll be back.
I think so too. It's really hard for me. It's really hard for me to see Muss not going on another run. I mean, especially with the 2 commits they have, who we think is going to come back. These guys are going to get an offseason to develop. So, yeah. Well, these guys, he doesn't really have his work cut out for him necessarily, because he just took a banged up team that so many of us counted out. Nobody thought this team was going to make the Sweet 16.
We were talking like a month and a half ago about this team making the NIT. You know, I mean, that's what kind of season this was. So a Sweet 16 dance out of it, I'll take that. You know,
I agree. I agree.
Love the content. Keep it up, brother.
I appreciate you, Grayson. Thanks a lot for calling in, man.
Yeah, bud.
Let me boop. Nope, we want this one. Boop. There we go. Get the jerseys on the screen. Again, if you guys want to call, we have nobody waiting in line. So if you guys want to call, I'll give you some more opportunities. I don't know what's going on with StreamYard. Like the chat disappears and it comes back. This is weird. But anyways, there's a link if anyone wants to call in. The calls have been great. They've been on point. I thought we'd get one just angry individual, but they've all been logical. What is with you, logical call-in guys? No, I'm just kidding. I better not. Be careful what you wish for, right? Why are there so many people that think players are only able to improve in college? This is a good question. This is a very good on-point question. Teams know a lot of the times when you're drafting, no matter if it's a lottery pick, outside the lottery pick, you know, they know they're probably going to have to develop these guys. That's why they have a G League. That's why they have, more or less, the minor league. They know this. I don't know why I just don't get why people think that you've got to be ready. Oh, you know, if you're not scoring 18, 20 points a game as a rookie, then you were a bust. That's not how this works, man. That's not how any of this works. Yeah, that's a good comment. Why are there so many people that think players only are able to improve in college? That is exactly it right there. Yeah. All right. We got some more. We got Jake. See, why can't I just do 2 for 1 here? Here we go. All right. What's going on?
Heartbreak, Ty. Heartbreak.
Man, you look like Scuba Steve.
Is that good or bad?
That's good. I think he's a ripped, good-looking, handsome dude. I've seen him in person. You look just like him. I thought you were Scuba for a second.
Well, that made me feel a little better. Not quite though. I appreciate it, man. I just got a couple quick things. Proud of this team, man. This is for all the comments I see. I don't understand what the people want. Some of these Arkansas fans. What do you want? How many 5-star recruits have we had in the history of Arkansas basketball? Can you tell me that?
Oh, off the top of my head, no, I can't.
10, 9, 10, something maybe.
It's single digits or close to 10, maybe.
Muss has us 2 on this team this year. 2 coming in, 3 Sweet 16 to Elite 8s. You know, like I don't understand what these people want. Like when this guy bounces for Kentucky or something, y'all are all going to be sitting here crying. It's going to be because of these idiots who talk so much crap about what do you want? A national championship every year? It's not that easy, guys. It's not that easy. Give this man some time. Let him get his money. He needs to be paid whatever he wants right now. And for all you naysayers about Muss, just stop. We don't even want to reply sometimes as people. I'm not no basketball guru, but I know a little bit about it. Like, we know Muss is the man. If you know basketball and you know Arkansas basketball, you know 100% there's not even another chance of wanting to find somebody else. So quit talking all this crap to all these people who are doing it before we really lose the guy, and then we're really back to being bounced in the first round for the next 20 years.
Stan Heath is all I got to say to people. Like when Nolan was fired, and of course the way things ended up, I was a kid. I was in high school when that all went down. We thought grass was greener on the other side. Stan Heath was going to be the guy, and he wasn't. We thought Pell from Florida, we thought he was going to be the guy. He wasn't. Mike Anderson built a great foundation. Okay, without him, you don't have the renovations, you don't have the practice facility, you don't have some of the accommodations that you have inside Bud Walton without Mike. Got you back to the tournament. The expectations were finally, maybe we can at least get to the second round and then run into North Carolina. But still, at the end of the day, 8 years, I mean, you were just a little bit better. He kind of moved the needle maybe a little bit. Some would argue not much at all. So the grass isn't always greener, and what Muss has been able to do in such a short period of time. Go back and look at Nolan's first couple of years. The story is people had written some racist, horrible shit to him because he wasn't winning games. What? Like, and we're talking about the 1980s. We're not talking about the 60s, the 70s. We're talking about the early 80s. And I get it. Racism has always been around. I get that. But still.
I get, man. We're everybody's a now, me. We want it now. Man, I mean, 3 years in the grand scope. 3 years is a blink of the eye, man. People don't realize where we could be with this guy in just a few years. It's great potential, and people need to realize that. And like I said, it's so hard for me just to not say anything to some of these guys. But it's like, are y'all trolling, or is this really how y'all feel? Would y'all who would you take?
There's people in chat saying who's dogging Muss. Everyone loves Muss. Clearly, these are people that haven't either been in these live chats or in Twitter.
Dude,
Purser, you've been here, you know.
After every loss, there's a handful of people, but like that's what I'm saying. That handful of people, like people get tired of hearing all the sometimes the grass is greener on the side, and Coach Muss has that same option, and we don't want him going nowhere. I want him on this side of the fence until he's ready to leave.
Speaking of 3 years, 3 straight Sweet 16s. I mean,
when
has that happened since the 90s, man? I mean, it's been a minute. So yeah, I agree, Jake.
Man, it's stressful. I love my Hogs, and we're still going to support them, and we're going to be back. Like, Hogs are going to hog, and we're going to be back next year. And y'all keep your head up and keep Muss on the positive side, man. He's a good thing we got. And I'll let you get to the next call. Love the show, Ty.
I appreciate that, Jake.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, man. All right, Trev.
Hey, what's going on, Ty? Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
All right, sounds good. I'm driving right now back to the hometown. I just wanted to call in. I watch your show a lot, but I do think, this season was up and down, but where we are right now, where we finished at, as I should say, it's a blessing because, like we said a month ago, I was in your live show and we're talking about an NIT. But I do think, like you say, I think we should hit the transfer portal. Let some of these guys walk. I wouldn't want Barry Dunning to walk. We didn't get to see him a lot this year, but I'd like to see him, see how he would do under Musselman, but I hate when players leave, but at the same time, it opens up a lot of doors. Like say instance, I wouldn't be mad if Jalen Graham left. Honestly, I mean, he can score. I ain't dogging on his scoring at all. His defense is liability unless Musselman can somehow throughout the summer and throughout going into the season get his defense better. But like you said, man, we need to do something, whether it's hit the portal or even more develop these guys. But you can't just I don't understand all the must hate, man. You can't hate on the guy. I've never have I been happy with some wins or losses? No, absolutely not. No one.
You've seen them in chat though, right? You have seen
exactly. I've been in your chat for a while. I just haven't subscribed or did any of that. I mean, I like it. I love your content, but I even see it on Facebook. I seen where Jordan Walsh's mom has posted.
You
on
haven't
Twitter.
subscribed?
No, I have now. Is what I'm saying.
Okay,
but I didn't for the longest time because I just sat in the chat. But like I said, I know we'll figure it out. I believe in Musselman more than any guy. Just like I said, hopefully some of these guys will stay and stick through it. I think I hope Barry Dunning will stay. I think Anthony's gone, like you say. Nick's gone. Devo, I think he'll be back, but I don't know. He might go the G League route. What do you think on that? What's your take?
I think he likes Muss a lot. I think he likes Fayetteville a lot. I think he likes his NIL. I've heard his NIL deal is ridiculous. A year ago, we were talking about his NIL deal being like the highest on anyone on campus. I don't know if that's still true.
You think Brazil stays and develops?
Yes, I do, because what was he? I mean, he was a 3-star out of high school, if I remember his recruitment right, going to Mizzou.
Mm-hmm.
What did he do at Mizzou, and then what did Muss turn him into?
Exactly.
Muss turned him into before he got hurt. I remember seeing mock drafts late first round. So Muss is responsible for that, not Mizzou. Muss's development. So I do think he'll be back, but these kids today with NIL, with the portal, nothing would shock me. Wouldn't shock me
like
if someone.
You say, man, I'm 22 and you toss a bag my way, like you said, man. It's hard to turn down those pennies, exactly. Like it's crazy. You think Walsh comes back, or what's your take on that?
Yeah, I do, because even though he turned his play around and he became a lot more effective from a defensive standpoint. He was always good, but he got even better and he got smarter as far as his staying out of foul trouble for the most part. You look at the tournament. I think he knows what he could be developed into. I really think right now, at the moment, the only players that I do not see coming back at all are Ricky Council, which I think he's a super senior, right? He doesn't have another year of eligibility. I could be wrong on that. And Anthony Black and Nick. Those are the three guys right now on the table. I don't see him coming back at all. Nick needs to develop, and I do agree with that, but he can get developed at the next level. So
and get paid severely good.
What's that? Say that again.
I said, and he can get paid incredibly good. NIL is one
developed,
but I mean, like you say, a lottery pick, that's a whole other thing.
Yeah, you
can always improve your draft, but I mean, at the same time, all that money, you're a lottery pick already. How much more do you got to prove?
Exactly.
But last thing I'll leave you with this. I'm gonna root for Desi Sills all the way out, man. I've been watching K-State and him and Marquise Noel, I think that's his name. Man, they're cold, dude. Keontae George, man, I'm rooting for him.
I'm damn sure rooting for him. Yeah, I agree. A part of me, and I don't root for teams that beat Arkansas, but a part of me is curious what Uconn does, because if they play the rest of this tournament like they did tonight, they're going to blow a lot of teams out, or whoever's left, right? The Elite Eight.
Number 24, he can shoot it, man. You don't leave that guy. You can't even get off from the ends. Like, there's a couple of times where, I mean, they had good contest on him, and at the same time, like, what can you do? That's a better shot. But I'm gonna hop off here, man. I appreciate what you do, and have a great night, Ty.
Hey, I appreciate you, Trev. Thanks a lot, man. All right, next up, what's going on, Prue? How you doing, man?
We made the Sweet 16. That's where I'm at. It's really easy to lose sight of that. And me personally, I did not have us even making the tourney. I didn't at all. And we got by Illinois. And then Kansas happened, and I was like, okay, I just couldn't believe it. I didn't watch the Kansas game, and look what happened. So I turned this game off, thinking we'd have better luck. Yeah, it's so easy to lose sight of, like, dude, we just went 3 steps further than anyone thought we would go.
Yeah.
And the things I would like to see moving forward, I'm not a basketball guru. I'm
That's fine.
5'8".
That's fine.
I'm 5'8", just there. And it's taller than Muss. So
Yeah.
We need shooters. I can't tell you how many times all season long you'd see Walsh or even Black just open, almost naked at the 3-point line.
Yeah.
And they just choose to charge into the paint, and you're down by double digits. No, take a stab at a 3-point shot. That drove me crazy. And my second point and my final point is practice freaking free throws. How many games did we lose this year that could have been won because of the difference at the free throw line?
They did tonight. They started out like 8 for 8. I mean, they were 100%, which didn't shock me because of how well they played throughout the tournament at the line. They shot an average of like 78% at the line in the first 2 games. And then they ended up shooting 74%. But you're right. That plagued them during the regular season.
All season long. And Muss wasn't shy about it. I mean, people beat him up about it all year. And I'm so far away from the fire Muss train. And I think if like
that train's small, though. I mean, dude, I will say, even though we were joking about it earlier and we were talking about the people who say it here, it's not as common here as it is on Twitter or Facebook. Oh, God, Facebook.
I know.
I have someone that comments every one of my lost videos, fire Muss. Like, it's just so asinine, but go ahead.
No, from here on out in the tournament, I forgot Desi played at Kansas State. That's a really good look, and I'm stoked for him. I'm curious to see if Uconn can repeat what they did tonight. Then good luck holding the flame to that for anybody. I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. My family's from Clarksville up in Arkansas, which is my ties to the U of A and how all that came about. But I did grow up in Birmingham, and Bama fans are the worst. And now they magically think that they have some sort of basketball pedigree, and they haven't done jack squat with it ever. The last thing they did with basketball was Latrell Sprewell and his rims. So I'll rest with that. But I like all the drama that's going on with Alabama, and that I won't get into that. Nobody can hold a flame to that. Uconn, the way they played tonight, I'll even throw I'm the first guy to jump on officiating with any sport. But you know what? When a team's shooting 70%, and they make your team look small.
Oh, man.
And our boys are big.
Yeah.
There's nothing anyone can do. There is nothing anyone can do.
Arkansas's got length. We know they had talent. It just never – we didn't see it consistently, especially after Nick came back. I'm just going to keep going with the analogy of square peg, round hole.
Yeah.
With Nick. That's not on him. Tonight's not on him. I mean, he started off hot, but yeah,
outgunned like from the get-go. We were just outgunned tonight, and okay, I'll take it. We got 3 times further than most of us thought we were going to go.
Yeah, they got shellacked.
I'll take it. And for recruiting, like this looks good for recruiting because the way I look at it as like, okay, we're amongst the 16 best teams in the country. When we were awful at times this season.
Shouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been a top 20 team because considering the injuries, considering no Brazil, considering no Nick Smith most of the year, considering that Anthony Black was dealing with injury issues, as far as I know, like the whole second half of February, he was dealing with something. And again, I know everyone, and we're going to get this. Someone's going to come back later, or they're going to do it in live chat, or someone after when this is done and over with. You can't keep blaming injuries. Who else had a Brazil and Nick Smith that was sitting on the sidelines all year? 2 potential. Well, we know one's at least a lottery pick or first rounder, and the other one's probably who else has that? Who else had that kind of loss this year and still manage to make a Sweet 16 run with those guys mostly on the bench. Yeah, I agree.
And the last point I'm going to make, with all the mismatches that went on tonight, to see Anthony Black get in there and the defense that he is known for, showing up and forcing, just stirring the pot, forcing turnovers, I was so happy to see that. And because it's so easy for me to lose sight of that all year, because he'll go to the foul line and just, lay an egg. And I'm like, dude, you're leaving double digits at the line some nights.
Yeah. A lot of and one misses too this year. A lot.
Yeah.
Seemed like they missed 60 or 70% of those. But you
But
got to hit
the future's bright. Like this, I'm so glad Eric Musselman's on the hill. That's the man we need. That I hate that we couldn't go further, but
yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm all right. So love
Sweet 16, all things considered, was a hell of a run.
Yeah, it is. Woo pig.
That's right. Appreciate your call.
Yeah, enjoy the show, man. Have a good night.
You too, man. Appreciate it. John Goodman is up next. Hope. John, you've been around. I've seen you in chat. What's going on, man? How you doing?
Hey, Ty. How's it going, man?
I'm doing pretty well.
Hey, I'm good. Huge supporter of you. I support you on Patreon all the time, every month. So
appreciate that, man.
Huge support. My take from the game tonight is, man, that Uconn team, it would not shock me if they win the whole thing.
If they they don't even have to play exactly like they did tonight. If they just get close to how they look tonight throughout this tournament, nobody's beating them.
Right. I have never seen a basketball team in a long time where every single shot, it was just going into the hole.
And they only shot under 65. It was 57%. They only shot that way because they brought in their subs, the guys that never play in the final 6 or 7 minutes of this game. Hell, they could have rushed their subs in 5 minutes into the second half. Even when Arkansas went on that little 10-0 run, they still could have subbed them in and been fine. That's the only reason why these guys shot under 60%. I think they were, God, what were they? At one point, I think they were 65% or something crazy. They were 9 of 20 outside. I mean, that's 45%. They were 81% the free throw line. A lot of bench production. As I said, they're deep, man. They're so deep. And it didn't really matter because Arkansas, I will say that Arkansas wanted to get to the free throw line and they couldn't. And I'm not going back to Ian Prue's call when he said, I'm the first guy to blame officiating. Listen, I've got a couple people in Discord that might beat his title for that. But I will say they had to oversell their fouls. Someone in our Discord said, well, Anthony Black is flopping. Hell, he had to flop to get a call. They were not giving Arkansas shit, and I'm going to stick to that. Not why you got blown out. It's not why you lost big. But I will say, to start off, that's what you could tell that's what these guys wanted to do. That was Muss's game plan. He wanted to drive the lane and draw fouls, and they couldn't. And the officials were letting it go on both sides. Let's not sit here and act like they're big. Sinago, let's not act like he wasn't getting the shit slapped out of him either. I get it. It was on both sides. But that played into UConn's favor to allow that officiating the way that it did in the first half, which is weird to say, right? It's weird to say that we're upset they weren't calling more fouls. But in this type of game, in this type of matchup, that was the goal. Get to the free throw line, and let's hope these officials are something like SEC officials where we can get to the line and get a couple of soft calls. They just couldn't get them. Right. And that was a disappointment.
So here's my take. I think moving forward, I'm very proud we made it to the Sweet 16 this year despite, Nick Smith being out. We lost Brazil for the year, and Nick Smith finally came back, and, Debo being Debo. I think next year, here's my key thing is you've got the bench coming in. You've got Pinion, you got Ford, you got Barry Dunning, and the transfer portal. And I think the key thing going for next year's squad transfer portal, one, you got to play defense. But number two, we've got to start finding some shooters that know how to shoot the three.
Yeah. Yeah. They need a point guard, number one, that doesn't have to rely on driving the lane. And some of that's by design because he wants to draw fouls, which he's good at doing. Black averaged something like 4 or 5 fouls drawn a game. I mean, he was the best at it. Him and Ricky Council. But Yeah, no, you're right. They need outside presence. They need someone. It doesn't have to be knocking down 3 balls. It doesn't have to be that at all. It could just be someone with a nice, clean Jimmy Witt type mid-range jump shot, which, and we can argue that Devo kind of was that guy, but then Devo would be nowhere to be found in some games. And you go back to when they were losing back and forth, Devo was your leading scorer with like 15 points, maybe 16 points, which is still nice, but you would like for someone else to step into that role and be someone who could score almost at will. And they didn't have it. And it wasn't just 1 or 2 guys. It was like almost all their guards this year were just really inconsistent.
All right. So here's my thing. On Twitter, I seen where we are getting a transfer of the kid in from UCA is coming in.
Mm-hmm. I don't know a lot about him. I know, what's that Twitter handle? Hog something sport, Hogtown Sports. I think they were the ones that said it's a lock. I don't know who they are, and it's nothing against them. I don't know if they're legit or not, but I did see, I think it was them that tweeted that. I shouldn't say whether or not they're legit. I mean, they're a pretty good follow on Twitter. Now, of course, I can't pull them up. Oh, it's HAWG. HAWG, Hogtown Sports, okay? They said it is I don't know much about him. I'm going to be real honest with you. I didn't know much about who they were talking about. But he is from UCA. I did see that. Good Lord. Well, they tweet a lot. I can't find the player. Well, goodness. I know they tweeted that out today. Here it is. Cam Hunter, UCA transfer. I don't know anything about him. I just know he's from UCA. I've seen the name mentioned before. I just don't know much about the guy. But, yeah, he was there. They're saying it's their crystal ball, so I don't know what that means exactly. But, they're predicting him to come here. I get that, but I don't know where they're hearing that at. If they're reading that somewhere, if it's coming from 247 or one of the Rivals guys, I don't know. But yeah, they're looking at Cam Hunter and about 700 other transfers.
Right.
So,
well, this is my first live show I've been on, so I just want to say a huge support of you, and hopefully tomorrow and this weekend the Hogs baseball team can sweep LSU in Baton Rouge.
It's going to be a tall task. That game got moved up, by the way. It got moved up to noon. I don't know if you guys caught that.
Yeah, I seen that. So just want to say that. Big shout out, Whoopee.
Appreciate you, John. Thanks a lot for being a Patreon supporter, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, we got Tommy coming up next. Tommy, what's going on?
Hi, Ty. How you doing?
I feel like I'm going to catch a Baba Booey here. What's going
on? No Baba Booey. I had a question to ask you. Who do you think's going to stay? And do you think if anybody is going to transfer?
I worry about the freshmen. I'm a little worried about if some of these freshmen don't bolt because they didn't get the kind of time that they wanted. Although it's understandable because the guys that were in front of them were McDonald's All-Americans. You know, they're first-round draft prospects. When you look at Nick Smith and Anthony Black, but they didn't get minutes, which is what mattered, and they didn't get a lot of those this year. Pinion, it certainly seemed like Pinion was going to find more minutes on the floor. And I'm not saying that I know this. I'm not saying that anyone's telling me anything. It's just a feeling. I kind of wonder if some of these freshmen don't just, you know what, we want to go elsewhere. Maybe we'll get some more time. They know. These kids know. We're going to go after the Razorbacks are going to go after some transfers. They're looking for pieces to play next year to start. And the freshmen that are, going to be either redshirt freshmen or sophomores are going to be fully aware of this. So, I kind of wonder if some of these freshmen don't just bolt. And of course, that's really about all you have to lose outside of a couple of the other transfers. Brazil, who I think is coming back.
And I just wanted to say I've been a fan for a while, a couple years now. I think I started watching you whenever Chad Morris was coaching the football team, and I like what you do.
You hung in there, man. I appreciate that, Tommy.
Yeah. It's actually one of my favorite things to do, like especially after a game, like a football game. I like to get on YouTube and see everybody's reaction, especially after a win.
Yeah.
But that's about it.
Well, I appreciate that, especially because, you know, it's a growing space. And with YouTube, it is growing, but with that growth comes, you know, other hog shows. And for anyone to stick it out through all that at the Chad Morris years, man, you're a real trooper. And I appreciate that, Tommy.
Yeah, no, man, I work at a pizza place. I work at a, man, I probably shouldn't say it, but I work at a local pizza place.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, if you're ever in town, I work in Bentonville, man. You should come in.
Hey, listen, if you're going to throw in a free pie, I'm just saying, Tommy, my fat ass will be there.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You know, with my job, I got to meet the basketball players, and it was really cool. I got to meet like Jalen Graham and everybody, and a couple of different guys, and yeah, that's about it. I hope you have a good night, man. I'm making my lunch now.
Well, all right. Well, I appreciate the call, man. Don't work too hard, okay?
Okay.
All right, man.
Have a good weekend.
You too.
And go hog.
That's right. Woo pig. Oh, I cut him off right as he was woo pigging. That's my bad, bro. That's my bad. I cut him right off. That's my fault, dude. I did not mean to do that. Oh, I apologize. He's going to spit in my pizza if I... That son of a bitch. I'm going to get him back. That's my fault. Here's I don't know how to pronounce your name. I've seen you in the comment section before, though. Is Nick Smith Jr.'s knee shot, or is he just not as good as advertised? It's a legit question. I've thought he's looked slow all year, choppy feet, but doesn't seem to go anywhere. I think that's a valid. I think that's a valid question. I think that's a logical, perfectly fine question. I don't know. I feel like if it were his knee, his mom, his dad, his people in his circle, the agency, the Razorbacks would not put him on the floor. They wouldn't want him on the floor. If he's busted up and that's why he's not producing on the floor. If that's why he's not getting minutes, or excuse me, not getting points, not getting production, then he's not playing. I think he just never fit in. Never fit in. Mamma Mia pizza pie. What is that? Is that a joint? Is that a joint in Bentonville? Is that a pizza joint? Justice Hill. God, again? Is he in the portal again? Isn't there some kind of rule? What is it? Is this not like his third? Is there not some kind of rule? Holy hell. Must not using bench much more makes it hard to keep players to slim. And I mean, you know, yeah. I mean, we know he sticks to a tight 7 to 8 man rotation. We haven't gone over the numbers, but we will just for the sake of it. I know this is painful. 31% overall, 20 of 63. That ain't it. That ain't it, man. That ain't it. 5 of 16. I've said it before. If they're shooting plus 15 outside, that's probably not a good indicator that Arkansas is finding any success unless they're knocking down shots. Listen, they made 5. They made 5 threes. I mean, God bless them, right? 5 of 16. And it's not great, but at least it's 31%. 74% at the free throw line. You did get a little bit of bench production, but I think some of it was garbage. You know, Dunning kind of got in some garbage minutes. I hate to say that. I'm not saying that he's garbage, but during that time, Uconn's playing their bench guys. Someone mentioned Hurley Jr., the son. He did throw up an air ball. I'm almost positive that was him. He threw up the air ball. It doesn't matter. Uconn beat the snot out of you. Hawkins with 24 points. Sinago, who was, I mean, he didn't have a double-double. And listen, he didn't score 20. You know, that was part of the recipe. Keep him under 20. They don't win games, or I should say they're more automatic to win games if he's in the 20-plus category. He had 18 points, 8 rebounds, an assist, 2 blocks tonight. They only had 3 blocks. They held Arkansas to just 2. Something else that stood out to me, something that I said earlier in the year, if Arkansas is not playing above the rim, if easy layups, if dunks aren't happening, if they're not finishing at the rim, they're not winning games. I'm pretty sure they didn't have their first dunk until the final 6 minutes of this game. And they only had 1 dunk in this game. They weren't getting easy looks around the rim. Uconn with their bigs just dominated. They played ultimate rim protection basketball. They did everything right, and Arkansas did so much wrong. In the first half, they were settling for their shot selection in the first half was garbage. It was terrible. You're not a three-point shooting team. I don't remember what they were at. Actually, I have that number here in the first half. Where are you, post-game? Where are you? Post-game show. Here we go. Post-game. Here we go. They shot 7 threes in the first half. They were 3 of 7. That's not a bad number. You're 43%. But I would argue about 4 of those were just not good shot selections, right? They were 10 of 30 in the first half, 33%. They were 6 for 6 in the first half. I thought it was 8 for 8, but it was 6 for 6. 4 points from your bench. At that point, you'd only played your typical rotation of 8. Walsh had a couple of points in the first half. Nick Smith had 9 points in the first half. He was your leading scorer for the Razorbacks going into halftime. He also had, he had 1 rebound, just 1 turnover and 1 foul. Didn't see him set a whole lot in the first half. Anthony Black had 7 points. He had 3 steals, by the way, and that's just the first half. He ended up with, I thought he had at least, he had 5 steals total, 20 points. Arkansas, again, 20 of 63 ain't it, man. 5 of 16 for Arkansas. That damn sure isn't it. For most teams, that ain't it. 74% didn't matter. Didn't matter. Uconn took you out to the woodshed. Now you got to go rebuild. Well, I say rebuild. I mean, that's just what you're faced with. You're going to have to go rebuild. Because I think you're going to lose some key pieces, right? You're going to get back, I think you're going to get back Walsh, Brazil, right? Some good-looking pieces, right? I hope they can keep Pinion, Dunning, Ford. I hope they can keep those guys. You have these incoming freshmen. It sounds like, according to that Twitter handle, that they have a good shot at this kid at UCA. But, yeah. I agree with CFB. What did CFB say? Bay, Fall, and Brazil should help us with one of the issues we had today, and I think you're onto something there. I agree. Dang it, Arkansas, what happened? They got beat, Westin. They got smacked around, my friend. Oh, was it not the kid? Was it not the kid that shot the air ball? Because I thought it was. Someone's saying it was not him. That it was Romaloglu, however you pronounce his name. Maybe it was him. I thought it was Junior. I thought Hurley, little Hurley. I thought he hurled the air ball. Remember that scene in Benchwarmers? Oh boy, where there was a grown man on the other team. I felt like that was Uconn center. I haven't seen that in a long time, but Arkansas kind of looked like Bad News Bears out there today. The bad side of the Bad News Bears. I would love to see Brazil's performance. I'd love to see Brazil's performance over a season, but I honestly don't see him coming back. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, he's. I guess it just depends on. I don't know. It depends on what they tell him, right? What kind of feedback he gets. As long as he doesn't hire a lawyer. Does he have a lawyer on retainer? As long as he doesn't have an agent, he ought to be fine. He can still come back. I think that's still the rule. Let's see. Oh, Brazil would have helped. Yeah, I think that's crazy to say he wouldn't have helped. Yeah, and I think right now I feel like he's coming back, but I don't know. Fire the strength conditioning coach. 2nd year in a row, our bigs have gotten punished. I don't know. I don't know. Some of that was just they were bigger, better, stronger, faster than Arkansas was tonight. I don't know if that's anything that you could have fixed in the weight room. If I'm being real honest, I don't know that what happened tonight, any of that gets fixed by doing something in the weight room. I think you just got dominated. Now, I will say, I would like for them to go grab someone like a Sonagu out of the portal, right? Who wouldn't? Someone who looks like a defensive end at Georgia or Alabama. You know, I of course, who wouldn't want something like that? I would love for them to go and grab one of those guys who plays with like a chip on their shoulder and they're angry, big nasty style. They take it personal and they've got the beef to back it up. I'd love to see some more of that. Kamani played with a lot of heart, by the way. Kamani, who may not be all that, right, as far as like when you match him up down low, but he played with a lot of heart. Walsh did as well. Black laid it all out there, man. I do think this was his last game. I'm really, listen, man, I'm still proud of him. I'm proud of this team for making this kind of run. Because, again, like we had another caller say earlier, that shouldn't have happened, and it did. They still made it to the Sweet 16. He found a way to piece this team together and get them to the Sweet 16. And you're missing some pieces. Someone says it's strength conditioning. I don't know about that, but maybe it is. I don't know. But I think the fix is in the portal. I think that's where the fix is. And I think that's why you saw so many offers into the transfer portal. Bigs over weights. Do bigs beat us and the shooters? Kelly, have you been on the sauce tonight? Arkansas needs a seven footer. That's the way basketball is going, says Westin plays. If Walsh comes back, he'll be able to hit the three next year. We saw him do that a little bit this year. Let's not act like we didn't see him knock down at least a few threes. We'll see, man. I mean, I can remember Bobby Portis coming back, and he developed a shot. He developed more than just putbacks and easy finishes at the rim, easy dunks. He developed a shot, and that's ultimately him coming back and developing that shot is why he's still in the NBA to this day. Got to be able to shoot and stretch the floor. I agree with that. They do, and that was their Achilles all year. If you forced Arkansas into a situation where they had to step back and knock down floaters and teardrops and outside looks, and it had to be a clean look. That's the only way it felt like they were going to make those. They didn't make too many contested shots. At least it didn't feel like it. But when you put Arkansas in that situation, they were going to lose that game. It certainly, Mitchell twins were not reliable all year. Someone mentioned again in that call. We had some good calls tonight, by the way. Thank you for the calls. Someone mentioned Graham's a huge liability on defense. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. He is a huge liability on defense. And it seems like more times than not, you didn't get the offensive presence out of him. So I wish him all the best. I do think if he were someone that were here a couple of years, if he were developed into Musta's system, he probably could become a little bit better on both ends of the floor. It just didn't happen this year. Mizzou fans are laughing at us online. Win in their best year in the past few. The farthest they go is the round of 32. That was kind of hard to read, Tony. Let me read that again. Mizzou fans are laughing at us online. Win in their best year in the past few. The farthest they go is around 32. All right. I know Sanagu is no Shaq, but do you think teams requiring strength conditioning coaches would Shaq smash their picks? That's a good point. Yeah, I know they weren't. Arkansas played Shaq. Unfortunately, there ain't no Sanagus on every street corner. Listen, they'll even tell you. Uconn fans will tell you we didn't realize what we had in Sanagu early on. I mean, I don't know if that's entirely true, Fish. I think there could be someone out there they can go and grab that they can become maybe something similar to that. Listen, Sanagu, nothing's impossible with Musselman, man. That's all I'm saying. Nothing's impossible. He put together a year where they had no business going into the Sweet 16. Look at the first round picks. That's going to be appealing to some of these portal, to these transfer guys. Ricky Council could legitimately be a first round pick. I don't know if he is or not. He might slide out. I don't know. I'm still a little shocked they have him in the top 20, but there's several legitimate mock drafts that have Ricky Council as a first rounder. Look at what was going on with Brazil, right? Again, a guy at Mizzou, I think, if I remember correctly, was a 3-star. Made his way to Arkansas out of Mizzou. He didn't do anything at Mizzou. Look what happened. So that's going to be appealing to somebody. We thought we had more in the Mitchell twins. It just didn't happen. No, I hear what you're saying, Fish. Sanagu is maybe he's I don't know. He definitely was a huge piece for them all year. Snogu, who stepped up tonight. Snogu was great, man. All right. Uconn win big. Uconn win big. Remember after Duke game, Muss said he was going to go into the transfer portal to look for big men so they aren't out physicaled. I hope this was a learning experience for the Mitchell twins. Yeah. Well, we'll see what he does in the portal. We'll see what he does. We'll see what he puts together. I don't think they ever sign that many freshmen again. I don't think that'll ever happen. I'll be surprised if it does, unless he has a lot of faith in those young men being able to step into a big role. I think at times, the light was too big for some of these guys, for some of these freshmen. They showed their immaturity at times. It bled into the inconsistency, and they're fantastic players. It is too bad we're not in an era where at least you had to play a couple of years, right? Or maybe there's a higher age limit in the NBA or whatever. It's too bad. I would love to see these guys back for a second year. At the same time, I'm going to root for them to go make some paper. I'm always going to root for them. Could they come back and make more money? Yeah, but they can also come back and lose it all. So I don't blame them. I wish they could get these guys back. God bless America. What this team would look like with Nick Smith and Anthony Black, and yeah, but that's the era that we're in. So you have to deal with it. I know that my dad likes to say he hates this era of college basketball. He doesn't like the one and done model at all. But tell that to the kid who's about to make a lot of money. Now you got to be smart with your money, right? Now you got to be smart with your money. What was MG Tao, the guy that called us dirty hawks? That was still oh my Lord. I was still laughing after the live show was over. That was great. I thought it was funny. It was simplistic, but I loved it. It was funny. Tim B just stopped watching us. What did Tim B say? Okay. See, now, Tim, I would almost have rather lost to Kansas by 1. Am I crazy or just a depressed fan? No, you want that banner. You want that feather in your cap that you made the Sweet 16. I get it. It didn't look pretty. You got embarrassed on a big stage. I like that there's another feather in your cap. I like that. I wish they'd played better. They ran into a buzzsaw. I hear what you're saying. It's depressing to watch the Razorbacks get their asses kicked. But hey, you know what? They beat a good Kansas team. They beat an Illinois team that I think belonged in the tournament. They beat at least one, I think, pretty high-quality team in KU. They just didn't have it tonight at all. Uconn was dialed in 100%. They played like, you know what? We are determined to win the whole thing. Arkansas just looked like the moment was just way too big for them. The stage was too big, too many mistakes, shot selection. They weren't getting the fouls that they needed early on. They really needed those refs to be a little more liberal with the fouls, and they just couldn't do it. They couldn't draw fouls. Again, people were talking about in our Discord how, Black was flopping. You had to draw those fouls, and they just weren't getting them. I don't know that it changes even if they were getting them. I don't know that it changes anything. Maybe the margin of victory for UConn's a little slimmer, but not by much probably by the way Arkansas performed tonight. They got their shit kicked in. There's no doubt. Piss poor performance, and it showed, and UConn is just that good. It was a perfect storm. UConn took advantage. They look like they're going to go and win the national title. At this point, I would be shocked. I think I would be shocked. Now, UCLA, talking about if UConn gets knocked out, UCLA might give them something. I like UCLA a lot, even though they're out of that piss poor pack out in the West Coast. But listen, I think UConn, and they might have to win some gritty games, right? They might have to get down and dirty and win down low physical games that maybe come down to the final few possessions. Maybe they don't kick anybody's ass like they did tonight, but they could. They're certainly capable of it. If they play anywhere close to like they did tonight, hey, wish them the best. That's all I'll say. I wish you the best. I really think you are the best team in this tournament after tonight and after what we've seen them do. That talk about them, I said February, maybe they got a little too hyped up because of the way they ended out on February. Turns out it was all legit. Good for them. Now, it's weird that their Twitter's trying to take shots at Razorback baseball. What? Can you guys spell Omaha? Like what is that? Like, and then they're driving through our poor towns and making fun of the poor. Listen, man. Listen, what of it? Like, we are who we are, and we're pretty damn proud of it. I'm pretty damn proud of this team. Again, Musselman found a way to put these guys into the Sweet 16. He did exactly what he pushed the right buttons to get them this far. This was not a good basketball year, not in terms of the regular season, but it ended up being a good basketball year if you look at the big picture of making it this far, because Muss found the right chemistry at the right time in the NCAA tournament. Not a great regular season, finishing under 500 in conference play, had their issues along the way. Again, a lot of issues chemistry-wise on the floor. So many. It just didn't mesh. A lot of youth, just almost too many new pieces. Maybe Muss does stick primarily with what he has, despite throwing out 500 offers to these transfer portal players. Maybe he does stick with these guys and convinces them, hey, look, I'm going to build this team around you guys. Now, I don't know that I see that. I think they end up going pretty heavy in the portal. But maybe that'll convince maybe he'll convince some of these guys to stick it out just a little longer, get developed, and maybe they become something special going into their second year. But I will say it was a disappointing regular season, but the way they ended making it to the Sweet 16, I shouldn't say the way they ended the season because they got destroyed, but making it to the Sweet 16 was pretty special when they probably had no business making it that far. And they beat a 1 seed to get there. So I know there's going to be some angry, emotional fan calling me crazy and wrong and blah, blah, blah later on. But I think making it as far as they did is that's another banner. Sweet 16 ain't no joke, man. So, yeah, the outcome was good. Making it to the Sweet 16, if that's what you mean, yeah, I agree. Is Devo done? Does he have one more year? He's got another year. He has another year. And I think he'll be back. I mean, you just never know with the NIL stuff and the portal. You never know. So, all right. I want to say thank you to the show sponsors, Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company, the Odd Soul, and Apex Tattoo Studio, Patreon supporters, and all you guys that called in. I appreciate each and every one of you. Listen, I would like to have advanced and keep these going, but it had to end at some point. And it sucks that they ended the way that they did, getting blown out. Absolutely no contest. I think Arkansas kind of felt like Arkansas was just a bug on Uconn's windshield. I wish they had at least played better. I am with those people that say that. I agree. But I'm happy they made it this far. With all the injuries, all the issues they had to deal with, again, the team chemistry, I'm satisfied that they made it this far. Not satisfied on how things ended, but I'm satisfied they made it this far. So Woo damn pig is right. Woo damn pig is right, man. All right. Again, no live show tomorrow. I'm off. Probably going to hang out with the kiddos, get some stuff done around the house. No show, but I appreciate each and every one of you for coming through. All right. I'm an Odd Soul bro. There you go. Odd Soul. That's right, baby. Emma Street in Springdale, Arkansas. They've got you covered, right? Craft bar, pizzeria, fantastic pies, all kinds of stuff on tap. The IPAs are great. The staff is wonderful. Shout out to the Odd Soul. I didn't give them their ad read earlier, so I'm giving it to them now because they deserve it. They're a sponsor of this show. They pay for it, and that's what I'm doing, giving them their ad read. But I think we mentioned them earlier on. But I do want to go. I need to go. We tried to go to their Tuesday night, or no, yeah, Tuesday night. A friend of mine and I tried to go, and they do trivia nights on Tuesday nights, and it was jam packed. We couldn't find a spot. I really wanted to hang out, but couldn't. They were just so packed. I'm telling you, the environment there is really awesome. Nick, the owner, and that staff, just awesome. They do a good job there, and they're good people. So, all right. Outmanned, it happens. There you go. That's right. It happens. Uconn certainly did that tonight. Woo pig, and I will see you guys next Monday, unless we have some crazy breaking news, okay? I'll see you guys then. Have a good weekend. Woo pig.